Hello, everyone, and welcome. Good morning. I'm so excited to be here with Jody from Adoro Olive Oils and Vinegars. We are in the Cedar Plaza, I believe it's called.
Cedar Point, yeah.
Yes, Cedar Point Plaza in the south end of Sudbury. And good morning. We're excited to be here. I'm going to give Facebook a little bit of time here. There's always a bit of a gap between when we're live and when it shows to you guys that we're live. We're here to answer any of your questions. So if any of you are jumping on the live feed, feel free to type your questions in the comments. We're excited to be talking about healthy fats and DIY dressings. And so Jody, we're here in your store, and you've been at this location for how long now?
It was 6 years in July.
6 years in July. That's so awesome. I think as a nutritionist that we're so blessed to have an olive oil and vinegar store like this in Sudbury. And I'm going to tell you throughout our time together this morning just why that's so important and why I feel so excited and blessed that we have a store like yours here in Sudbury. So to kick things off this morning, we are talking about healthy fats. So there's a lot of misconception out there about fats. What is healthy? Should fat even be in your diet? And we're here to dispel some of those myths quickly as we get going this morning. So healthy fats. Yes, we need fat in our diet. Fats comprise the outer layer of every single cell in your body. So we have trillions of cells in our body. So if you were to even just take a look at your little fingernail, think about all of the tiny little microscopic cells that make up your baby fingernail. Healthy fats surround all of those cells. So that's why it's important to have healthy, good quality fats in your diet, because your cells are constantly turning over and you're constantly having to replenish those fats. And if you are eating poor quality oils and poor quality fats, so let's just call out fried food, right? Right off the bat, those are poor quality fats. If you're doing that, it's no wonder that you're going to feel sluggish, that you're going to feel tired, that your skin, hair, nails are not going to behave the way that you want them to, because those bad fats coming in through your diet affect every single cell in your body. So I wanted to drive that point home right off the bat so that we know just how important it is to be having healthy, good quality fats in our diet. So Jody, I'd love for you to tell us why you started Adoro.
Oh, I tell people it's a very boring story. So basically what happened was more than 6 years ago, 8 years ago, my husband and I went on a walking food tour in Chicago. We walked into a store very similar to this, and I could not stop thinking about it, and I just kept thinking, I need to bring this to Sudbury, and I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so after, number of months of thinking about it and then a number of months planning it, here we are.
That's great.
6 years later. Yeah.
6 years later.
Yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And what sets Adoro apart from, say, olive oils that you'll find in the grocery store? Maybe you can tell us.
Yeah, well, it's always an education when you come into my store. So I feel like I'm educating, I hope I'm educating everybody every day. So olive oils in the grocery store, unfortunately, there doesn't appear to be any kind of industry standard. So with olive oil, there is an industry standard, and it should be followed. If it's considered to be an extra virgin olive oil, the international chemistry of the olive oil has to meet certain criteria for it to be that, as well as the organoleptic taste assessment. So what that means is that there's actually people out there who do olive oil tastings for a living.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I had a chance to do that when I was in California training. So it's very, very interesting. But what they do is they, actually, if I can show you, this is a product descriptor of one of my extra virgin olive oils.
And just so you know, Jody has these on each of her olive oils throughout the store. So when you come in, it really is an education. You get to see and to learn about each of the products.
And that is the difference between the grocery store and what I have, because I can tell you exactly what the chemistry is for every olive oil. I can tell you what the organoleptic taste assessment is for every olive oil. And most importantly, and what I think is going to tell us apart from the grocery store is crush date. So what people don't realize is that the only way to tell how old an olive oil is by crush date.
Okay.
Right? Because if you don't know when it's crushed, you have no idea how old it is. And olive oil essentially is a fruit juice. So a fruit juice doesn't last forever. And it's better when it's fresh, just like orange juice, just like apple juice. It's better when it's fresh. So we work on the 2 hemisphere rotation. Okay. So what that means is that every 6 months or so, give or take, we get fresh olive oil in from the 2 different hemispheres. So because they crush at opposite times of year.
So that your product is always fresh.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. And so you can really, and beyond all of that, beyond looking at the chemistry, beyond looking at the organoleptic taste assessment, beyond looking at the crush date, taste is what's important. Yeah. I want to show you, Selina. So this is an olive oil that I carry. It's called Koroniki. And it's from Greece, actually. And I just want you can taste it if you like, or just smell it. Okay. Because if you were to smell this.
Oh, wow.
And if you were to go to the grocery store and pick up just a generic brand, or even what you consider not a generic brand, maybe Bertolli.
Okay.
Is very bad. But does it smell, when you smell it, what would you think of when you smell it?
I think of olives.
Yeah.
The fact that when you're saying it's a fruit juice, when you smell this olive oil, that really rings true in my mind.
And I often tell people, I do olive oil classes as well. But when I tell people to smell it, often what comes out is fresh cut grass. Oh. It smells really fresh.
It does smell. It's got that earthy.
Yeah. And so that's the biggest thing. If you were to compare, if you were to do a side-by-side tasting of this and a generic store brand, you would not smell that. I can guarantee it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wish that I could get you guys to smell this right now.
But they can come in anytime and smell.
Yes, and please do, because it really is its own experience. I know growing up with olive oils, even from the store, or my family would try to buy the better versions or whatever, because we're Italian and we're food people like that. This is a whole other experience, tasting the freshness. So I want to draw attention to a couple of the points that Jody made. Number one being thinking of olive oil like a fresh fruit juice. That to me, when I was reading up to do this presentation here with you, and when Jody was sharing some of her information with me, that really was a huge eye-opening experience. Because I know from being in the nutrition world, okay, cold pressed, fresh pressed juice, right, is good. And we know that juice has a very short shelf life. And the reason why it has a short shelf life is because all of the vitamins and antioxidants are being cracked open when the juice is pressed. So all of that fresh goodness, live goodness, is going into the bottle. And so that's why we don't want to leave our juice either on the shelf or even in the fridge or exposed to air for a long time, because all of that starts to break down. So it's so cool to make that comparison to olive oil and to now realize, oh, okay, this is why we want to have our olive oil in dark bottles. This is why the crush date matters.
Yes.
And that's something that I've never seen in the grocery store, right? It will give us an expiry date.
Yes,
but
that doesn't mean, sorry to interrupt you, that doesn't mean anything.
Right.
Because what I've seen in the last 6 years and doing a lot of research and talking to a lot of people in the industry, olive oil can sit in a warehouse for years before it's bottled.
Okay.
Which is, it's so unfortunate.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. That's why it doesn't smell like this.
That's right. And actually, if you don't mind, I just want to tell people too, one of the questions I often get when people come in, Because people are becoming more aware, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
And I think that people know that they need extra virgin. So they come in and they want to know, is it extra virgin? Is it cold pressed? But most people don't know what that means.
Right.
So what that means is, like I talked about the extra virgin having its own set of criteria that it has to meet to meet the standard.
Yeah.
Along with that, so in order to be an extra virgin olive oil, it has to be cold pressed.
Oh,
Okay. So what cold pressed means is that the olives are harvested from the trees. Some use mechanical methods. I don't say mechanical in a way that is bad, but they use a big machine to gather all of them. Old countries, old farms still pick them off the trees. Yeah. And they have like a big carpet or tarp on the ground, and they just let them all fall, and they pull up the tarp and bring them to the factory or the crusher, basically. So basically cold press means you harvest the fruit, and within a certain time frame, I would say probably within 4 to 6 hours, it has to get to the plant to be crushed. And then you crush it without any added solutions, water, steam, heat. Okay. So it's cold pressed. So basically you take the olive, press it.
That's awesome.
And out comes the juice, basically. Okay. And that's why extra virgin olive oil is more expensive, because of the process, and you're not adding more things to it. Right. So you get very little yield out of cold pressed olive oil. Right. Or cold pressed olives, because you're not adding anything to them.
That makes so much sense. Again, going back to the idea of thinking about olives as fruit, and if you were to squeeze an olive, like how much juice would come out of that?
Well, not a lot, considering also to be an extra virgin, and I don't want to get into all the details of the chemistry, but in order for it to meet the chemistry to be an extra virgin olive oil, a lot of the olives are early harvest, which means they're not quite ripe. Okay. The more ripe an olive is, the less health benefits that it has. Right. Yeah. Oh, that's so neat. So you get very little juice out of the olives when they're green. Right. Yeah. Right. We're
getting a big education here this morning. I'm so glad that we did this. It's exciting to learn. We're talking a lot about the freshness, the quality of olive oil. I really want to make sure that we understand why that matters. And to make my point from earlier, healthy fats make up, or fats in general, we want them to be healthy, make up the outer lining of every single cell in your body, especially in your brain. So this is why it's super important for you, for your health, for your longevity, to have good quality fats in your diet, good quality oils, like the one that I just tasted here today. And I want to make sure that you know that there's 3 things that make oil or fats in general go bad. And those 3 things are heat, light, and air. So if you were to think, just think for a minute about walking through the oil section in your grocery store. You're seeing a lot of clear bottles. You're seeing a lot of plastic bottles, which is another kind of tangent that I'll just make quickly, is that plastic can break down and leach into fats really easily, because fat molecules are really absorbent. So they'll absorb any chemicals or anything like that that's breaking down in the plastic that's going to end up in your oil. So always look for a glass bottle, and preferably a dark bottle, because it's keeping light out of your oil. And when we know that it's cold pressed, we know it hasn't been exposed to any heat in the processing. And because the oils that we're purchasing from the grocery store, they're not going to taste as fresh or have the same smell of fresh cut grass, it's hard to know if it's gone bad. So trusting, say, the smell test of an oil that you're getting from the store is not totally accurate, because it's not really going to give you the same idea.
And what I also want to point out too is, if you've never had anything other than grocery store olive oil, you won't know the difference. So I often come across this when I do my classes. I do an olive oil, it's called Olive Oil 101. Cool. And we sit and we do an official tasting, and we talk about a lot of different things, some of what we're doing today. One thing that always comes out is that people don't know what real olive oil tastes like.
Ah.
And so if you're used to the store brand, that's normal. And I was too before I started the store, right?
Yeah.
And that's all I ever knew.
Yeah.
And then when I realized the difference. So what I would suggest is that even if you want to come in, taste my olive oil, just get an idea of what real olive oil tastes like.
Right. Have that comparison.
To be able to have the comparison.
Yeah.
Because you won't know otherwise.
Right.
You'll think, oh, this tastes pretty good.
Yeah.
But it probably doesn't taste like what I have.
Right.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So extra incentive to grab your coupon book and come on down here. There's so many different kinds of olive oil, and I wish that I could turn my camera around easily. I'll take a picture for you guys before I leave, and I'll post it in the group so that you can see what the store looks like and what it would be like to walk in here and to have all of these available to taste. So just to recap the last point that I made, heat, light, and air are things that you want to keep away from your fats. And that includes things like avocados, like whole olives, coconut oil, etc. We want to keep it away from heat, light, and air to make sure that the fats stay good, to keep all of the antioxidants alive and well and ready to go into our bodies. That's one of probably the biggest health benefits of having a good quality olive oil, is that there are tons of antioxidants, and these are the kind of antioxidants that protect your skin, protect your eyes, protect your heart, protecting your body from disease. It's just like we hear about green tea all the time. Well, this is another one that's, I would say, maybe even a little bit better, because it is a healthy fat, and because we know the way that healthy fats are so needed in our body and so pervasive throughout all of our cells. Getting a really good quality with good antioxidants is going to help to keep those fats healthy inside your body. So we have some exciting recipes and things to talk about today, and I'm going to send an email out later today with a number of different recipes. I'm even gathering new ideas as I'm here in the store, because I want to let you know that olive oil is not just for salad. There's so many different things that we can do with it, and same with balsamic vinegar. There's so many different uses, so I'm excited to share those with you. And I'm also going to email you a copy of this. And this is Jody's master sheet, if you will, of pairing suggestions. So it's kind of fun, just like you would pair wine with food, we're pairing olive oils and balsamic vinegars. So this sheet right here that you're going to get a copy of is going to make your salad dressing life so much easier. There's my cheat sheet. Cheat sheet. I love it. Because there's no reason to be buying store-bought salad dressings when salad dressing is as easy as pairing two things on this cheat sheet and drizzling those over your salad. It takes way less time and effort than you'd think. So we're looking here at a lot of flavored olive oils. Can you tell us, how do they get their flavor?
So there's two different ways. In my store, I have a huge, for those of you who have been to my store, there's a huge selection of flavored olive oil. Basically, there's two things, fused and infused. So fused is when the fruit or herb is crushed with the olive at the same time. So after they pick them from the trees, they go to the processing plant to be crushed. They bring in the fresh fruit or the herb, they crush them together. That's fused. So there's a few olive oils that I have that are fused. The rest are infused. What that means is that olive oil is created, so it's pressed, cold pressed. Then it goes to my supplier, and my supplier does the infusion. So it's all natural ingredients that they use.
Nice. Okay. So that means that anybody with allergies to things like gluten, I am one of them, and I'm always really weary about, okay, so something's flavored. How did they make that happen? So we have peace of mind here, knowing that.
And I do have the gluten-free statement from my supplier.
Oh, that's awesome. This is good news for us gluten gluten-free folk that, yeah. So for example, when it says that there's basil or there's dill or there's fennel in the olive oil, it's the actual spice or herb that's being added with the olives. Yeah. That's so cool. So we have peace of mind in knowing that it's not anything else. Awesome. Do you guys have any questions for us? I'm going to call up the feed on my phone before we get into looking at some of the pairings that I suggest for dressings. I'm going to open this up and
I just want to tell you too, while Selina is doing that, on the pairing sheet as well, down here in the bottom corner is it's a conversion chart. So what that is, I put that on there for everybody because you can actually replace butter and margarine with olive oil. And I've given you a little conversion chart to do that. So I do a lot of, when I do my baking, I replace my butter, margarine, whatever the recipe calls for, with olive oil.
Oh, that's neat. Yeah. And how does that affect the flavor?
It doesn't.
It doesn't.
No, because usually what I do is I use just a unflavored extra virgin olive oil. Okay. And when you cook with it, you don't really get the flavors from it. So it's a plain olive oil. Or I have a butter infused.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and actually I need to tell you, my butter infused olive oil is vegan.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so there's no dairy in it, which is very interesting.
Yeah. That would be great on popcorn.
Absolutely. A lot of people buy it for that.
Oh, that's so neat. Yeah. So there you go. Anytime you want butter flavor without the dairy, that would be a great option. And you're still getting healthy fats. Yep. That's great. That's so cool. Okay, so we have before us a gorgeous salad here. We've got some fresh spinach, strawberries, walnuts, a little bit of cheese, and blueberries. And so if we were going to dress this, what would you suggest, Jody?
So my go-to for a spinach salad is basil, olive oil, and strawberry balsamic. Ooh. But I was thinking this morning, another one that I would probably do with this is a lemon olive oil with blueberry balsamic. Oh, so often what I do when I'm looking for a salad dressing, I pull out things that are in my salad because we have so many different flavors of both the oils and the vinegars.
That's a great idea. Yeah. That's really good. And you can go so many different directions with this. So it alleviates the need. I'm going to say this for those of you who are spending time at camp during the summer, or if you're traveling and you're away, it eliminates the need for bringing all kinds of spices with you because you've just got your flavored olive oil and your balsamic. So say you would normally put basil in your salad, or I'm a big dill fan, so I shake dill on every salad that I make. I wouldn't need to bring that with me. I could just use the dill olive oil and pair it with a balsamic, and that would make things really simple and easy. Yep. And so go ahead and throw out your store-bought salad dressing. I'm making a bold statement here that you don't need them because it's so easy with this pairing sheet. I'm sending you guys a recipe later on today for an end of summer squash salad, and that has whole olives in it as well. And I'm suggesting using a basil olive oil with a blackberry ginger dressing on it. And it's as simple as mixing the two. You can either just drizzle them right on your salad or mix them in a little bowl beforehand and put that on your salad. So many different directions to go here. But I want to call to mind one thing about dressing your salads. It's important to have healthy fats on your salad, and also important to have something that's acidic, because those two properties help your body, number one, to break everything down properly, but number two, to have all of the nutrients properly absorbed. So a lot of the vitamins in things like strawberries or in things like spinach can't be properly absorbed if they're not paired with healthy fats and a little bit of acid. So if anybody out there doesn't put dressing on their salad presently, this is a good reason to start. And you can do so with peace of mind, knowing that you're adding healthy antioxidants in the olive oil, you're getting good quality fats, and delicious flavor with some of the olive oils and the different vinegars. So So I'm checking in to see if we have any questions. I'm not seeing any yet. So we'll continue on. You're all going to get recipes. You're going to get a copy of this cheat sheet from Jody. One of the recipes that I'm going to send you later is actually for a dessert. So using balsamic vinegar to marinate strawberries, and you can pick any flavor that you'd like. I think the one that I'm using is a chocolate.
Oh, okay.
Balsamic vinegar with the strawberries makes it really, really delicious. And you're eating whole foods. Yep. You're getting something that's fermented right down from good quality ingredients pairing with the strawberries. And we also have something really exciting to share, which is over here. Did you guys know that it's called a shrub? Have you guys heard of what a shrub is? And I'm not talking about small bushes outside. It's a drink that you drink that actually uses balsamic vinegar in it. So I just learned about this today, and I'm pumped about it. This is like a big takeaway for me. I'm going to tell everybody, you guys will get a copy of some of Jody's recipes here for sparkling shrubs. I'm always on the lookout for drinks that are delicious and fun, but don't contain alcohol. I'm not a big drinker myself, but I like to have fun or have something a little bit different. And this is a great way to do it. So you're all going to get a copy of this recipe. And the one that I'm going to send out in particular, it uses blueberry, lemon, thyme, balsamic. Doesn't that sound delicious? And Jody's got it in store here. So you have that to look forward to. Melissa says, no, she hadn't heard of what a shrub is. It's exciting. I'm going to share that with you. And also some of the recipes that I'm going to send out use flavored sea salts. This is something that Jody has in her store here. And I'm really excited about it because for anybody who is not great with spices or knowing what pairs with what, these make it really, really easy because they tell you on the back. So I'm holding a rosemary sage infused sea salt, and it tells you it pairs with lamb, roasted vegetables, and savory breads. How easy is that? So I'm going to send you a recipe that uses these, and I've used these steak and rib rub, and there's one for fish, there's some for chicken as well, all different flavors. It makes it really easy. So again, if you're going out to camp or even in your own kitchen at home and you just want to know that your seasoning is going to be delicious, this is a great way to go. And what I love about these is that there's no added ingredients. There's no funny stuff in here. This one even tells you it's all natural, it's vegan, it's gluten-free. There's no additives in here. So that's really awesome. I'm going to send you guys recipes with these sea salts, and I'd encourage you to check those out.
And I want to point out that both companies are Canadian.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. We love that.
I love that too.
Yeah. That's really great. So any questions? Oh, Stephanie's just joining us. Thanks for sharing. And even if you're watching this on the replay and you have any questions, please put it in the comments. And Jody's in our group, so either myself or Jody will reach out to you and share the answer. I hope that this has been really informative for you today. And I'd encourage you to come in, check out the store, taste the olive oil for yourself, and look at all the different ways that you can use olive oils and balsamic vinegars beyond your salads. I'll just give you one quick idea that I had as well. There's a coconut ice cream that I get from B Grader Organics. I love it. And putting chocolate balsamic vinegar on that, or even sometimes mixing the chocolate and the espresso on ice cream with a little bit of berries. And I'm a bit wild, so I throw in ground flax for some crunch. It's delicious. I'll send you guys that recipe suggestion too.
Sounds good.
Good. Well, thank you so much, Jody, for taking time out of your morning to do this presentation with us. I hope that you guys have learned a lot. And I hope that you'll come into the store and that you'll check things out. I brought my coupon book with me, and I'm going to be using it before I leave the store. There's so many great ideas, and this pairing sheet makes it so easy. You'll get a copy of all of that in your email tonight. Thanks so much for tuning in, guys. Have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.